What is going on, snipers? Naeem Al-Obeidi here. I hope you're all enjoying your day today. Let's go ahead and just dive into our daily cryptocurrency content and analytics for today. I know this is a bold claim, right? Why Tron will rise after its mainnet launch, but I figured why not make a bold claim if I'm going to make a claim at all? And the reason I say that is there's a lot of news coming out for Tron. I want to talk about how this mainnet launch could significantly result in higher price levels for Tron. And we're going to be looking at a technical and a fundamental analysis here for Tron. First, looking at the technical analysis, you can see we've got a clear pennant forming. Not only is there a clear pennant forming, but we've got these sharp ascending support levels. If you don't know what a pennant is, by the way, we have a free 24/7 crypto community. I highly recommend all of you get on our Discord. The link is in the description below. There's a mobile version, a web version, but you can see under trading patterns here, we've got our pennant formation here where you have this resistance level descending while ascending support levels are starting to converge towards the apex of the pennant, which is actually the end of this little triangle formation. And you can see this is exactly what we're seeing on the one-day chart, looking at the technical sense of Tron. But then if we dive into the fundamental sense, check out this headline: Tron cryptocurrency founder plans to buy BitTorrent Incorporated. Why is this such a significant deal for Tron? Well, I'll tell you what. If we go into this article and dissect it, you can see here it says Justin Sun, the founder of the cryptocurrency Tron, is planning to take the company in, and both parties are finalizing the latest details for BitTorrent. If you don't know, BitTorrent is one of the largest torrent sites with over 100 million users. And this is an approach that we haven't necessarily seen in the past in the cryptocurrency sphere, right? Most cryptocurrency companies aren't buying out already established companies, but they're more so trying to create partnerships. So if you were to buy out a company and then instantly access their user base, that could significantly allow your coin to have use case automatically, knowing that you have control over that community. You can see here it says, with Sun at the helm, it makes headlines nearly every day, right? So Tron is also making daily headlines. And if you remember in the US presidential election, right, when it was Hillary versus Trump, who was making headlines daily, right? Let's ask that question. Put it in the comments below. I'll put it in the chat if you're on the live audience. But obviously it was Trump. And then who ended up winning the presidential election of the United States of America? It was Donald J. Trump. So knowing that they're making constant headlines, knowing that they're planning to purchase BitTorrent, you can see here it says the Tron white paper mentions torrents as one of their pillars. And that means it's not only acting upon what it's promised its investors, but it's truly trying to gain user base and gain mass adoption. If we were to go down a little bit more, you can see here, there's a lot of different information involved in this whole gathering of information in regards to Justin Sun purchasing BitTorrent, but at the end of the day, it's an approach that we've never seen before. Another article here, Tron coin trending with virtual machine launch, V-Sport partnership, and Apple stock listing. Let's go into this. It says Tron coin announced a partnership with V-Sport for developing the first blockchain-powered sports platform for football right before the 2018 FIFA World Cup. If we all know, the FIFA World Cup is a huge deal, and let's say they're trying to access that advertising venue, that would be a significant feat for Tron as well. Now, that's not confirmed in this article, but that's an assumption that can be made, knowing that they're planning to acquire V Sports, or actually, they've already announced this partnership with V Sports prior to the 2018 FIFA World Cup. And you can see it says Tron just launched its virtual machine and getting added to Apple's stock app and gaining support for its token migration. TRX is expected to reach the moon soon, right? Why are they saying that? Well, it's just gaining so much traction, so much knowledge. And remember, I'm not here to just talk about a coin that I don't truly believe in, but at the end of the day, if I spot something, I see a trend, I see a pattern, I'm going to make you all aware of it. So that's why I'm making this video, and I'd love to hear your opposing or agreeing thoughts on this. So you can see here it says Tron is among a few of those leading cryptos that keep on making a buzz in the market, kind of like what we talked about with the presidential election. If it continues to make headlines, what do you think is going to happen? So here's the question I want to ask the audience. What do you think will be the price level of Tron coin after all of this news and the upcoming launch, right? Because buy the hype and sell the news. What if the hype is when the mainnet actually launches, and that's when people become more and more aware of this mainnet being launched, and that hype builds up to actual news of Tron taking its headline. So interesting thought in my opinion, and we will go into more depth, but what do you guys think? Let's see if the live audience has any agreement here. Somebody says 30 cents. That would be an interesting feat for Tron. Somebody says $2. Pathos says 25 cents. Dodge says sub-zero. Man, I'm sweating. I came back from the gym. I should have done cardio today. Norbert says, who cares about Tron? EOS is better. I would disagree with that. You have to understand here. Here's another article that I found here about Tron, and this will kind of compare a little bit of its features to EOS. But you can see here it says, Tron launches its virtual machine, hodlers on moon. But you can see here it says, data developers can implement and experiment with an already ready system using Solidity and other programming languages. Why is this quote important? Well, understand their virtual machine is pretty much allowing developers to easily go from Ethereum to Tron or vice versa from EOS to Tron, taking their coding that's already established and utilizing that within their virtual machine. Why is that a big deal? Well, it's almost like saying this for app developers on the App Store. Hey, don't worry about all of the app coding that you've already done for the iOS app that you've created. Come to our platform and we can already take your iOS coding and implement it into our blockchain. So very, very big deal here for Tron, and there are a lot of differences between Tron and EOS. So remember, we're having this de-application platform competition, right? We've got all of these different platforms starting to arise, and the question is which ones are going to gain the majority of market dominance. And at this point, in my opinion, we've got Ethereum, EOS, and Tron at the forefront of de-application platforms. You can see another quote here. Coming from a background in software engineering and being a long-term supporter of Tron, this is big news. Great job, right? Another Tron enthusiast wrote, you and the Tron team are truly amazing to accomplish all this in such a short amount of time. That's another reason why I believe Tron is undervalued at this point. They've done all of this in such a short amount of time. So not to just sit here and hype up Tron, but I am just excited to share this information because we previously did a video like this for Ripple, and this was pre-December, and obviously, we all know what happened to Ripple, and it wasn't necessarily the hype that I made the video for. It was the fact that Ripple just showed so many different signs of being intrinsically valuable over the next couple of months that it eventually did see a parabolic rise, and it's still above the price levels in which when we made that video. So I figured I'd make the same type of video for Tron so I can make you all aware of this type of information. So somebody says, do you like Tron, Andrew Soto? I mean, obviously, I'm starting to gain a little bit more of this positive sentiment towards Tron because remember, Justin Sun doesn't have to be the brightest person in the world. He just needs to know how to bring the brightest people in the world around him, right? And I think that's what we're seeing here with think about this. All of these things that are launching in a short amount of time, obviously Justin Sun isn't the one doing everything, right? He's the one coordinating everything. He's the one getting the blockchain developers together. He's the one getting his team aligned and organized to establish and initiate all of these projects. And that's something that, in my opinion, we need in this marketplace right now. We need a coin that's constantly making headlines, right? We need a coin that has a leader that's truly trying to follow their roadmap from their initial launch. And that's obviously what Tron is doing now that it's following its roadmap, trying to even purchase BitTorrent as it mentioned in its original white paper. So interesting there. Zeph said, first time on live chat, been a viewer since last year. Good to have you. Antonio says, I love you. All right. Andrew says, won't buying the hype and selling the news affect Tron mainnet launch negatively? I understand that is a saying in the market, but we're bouncing off of this EMA right now. That's extremely bullish. We're in a pennant formation. The majority of the market is down right now. Do you guys not agree with me that Tron is poised for a breakout? It's forming a fractal cup here. This could easily turn into a breakout cup and handle. It's just looking good. It's looking appetizing. It's looking attractive to somebody like me. And obviously, I have no correlation to Justin Sun. We actually were trying to do an interview with him, but I never got in touch with him. But I'm making this video because I just have a feeling, and I believe as a content creator, I have to share my feelings and my information with each and every one of you just so that you have my perspective. Because my mentor always taught me, he's like, Naeem, it's not about following or listening to one specific person in your life. It's all about gaining perspective and making your own logical decisions. So hopefully that helps out. And let's try to move on from the Tron topic at this point and take some request of technical analysis here. Or if you guys want to talk about Tron, we can talk about Tron. Somebody says, can we still buy Tron or is it too late? I definitely don't think it's too late. It's showing extremely bullish here. We formed an initial pennant right here on the daily. You can see we formed that beautiful pennant formation. We broke out of that pennant, forming a larger pennant on the 1 day. We're above that EMA. If you don't know what the EMA is, this blue line right here, I'm going to actually change the color because it might make it a little bit more bolder for you. But this line right here, which I'm going to change to red, as you can see, is the exponential moving average, in which anytime a price action is bouncing on top, you can see how we started bouncing on top of that EMA. We saw this extreme exuberance with the price levels, but anytime we dropped below, we saw a drop in price level. So now that we're above the EMA, you can see we're truly bouncing on that EMA. It's looking extremely bullish in my opinion. So let's see here. Somebody says, do you think Tron and EOS could ignite a bull run throughout the general market? I 100% think that's the case, Darth Vader, because you have to understand, Data Dash is a very prominent YouTuber. He's one of the largest crypto YouTubers, right? And he actually made an awesome video that I highly recommend all of you go and watch, and then put a comment saying Sniper's Tube sent me. But it's called the Protocol Wars, right? And the Protocol War is exactly what's happening. This is Data Dash. If you don't know, you can see the Protocol Wars. This is the video, but it basically talks about these blockchain protocols going into competition with each other. And I believe the three main protocols that we're going to see, at least in the short term, until more of these catch up with development, are going to be Ethereum, EOS, and Tron. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ethereum as number 2, EOS is number 3, and then Tron is number 4, knowing that the majority of these D applications that are going to be built on this blockchain is going to be on these platform coins like Ethereum, EOS, and Tron. So therefore, we're more than likely going to see these coins rise over time, knowing that they already have true intrinsic value and use case. So that's my opinion, Darth Vader. Hopefully that answered your question. Scottish Bull says, Data Dash is a shill. I wouldn't talk negative against people. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. You know, if he's ever done something that you felt wasn't right, I mean, just forgive and forget, right? Have grace. That's what my mentor always taught me. Darth Vader says, thanks, Sniper. My name is Naeem, but you're very welcome. By the way, I want to talk about the Futurama Blockchain Conference because I never really got to talk about this, but I went to Dubai for the Futurama Blockchain Innovators Summit, and it was an amazing experience. I highly recommend all of you check out the Futurama Blockchain Innovators Summit if there is going to be a next one next year, which I'm pretty sure there is, and it's all going to be on coinsbank.com, and it is such an awesome thing to get around the true leaders in this industry, such as an individual like Brock Pierce, probably one of my favorite speakers at this conference, talking about truly making an impact. You can see even Data Dash, Nicholas Mariner was there. That's actually the first time I was able to have a conversation with him, but highly recommend you guys check it out. I actually have some pictures. I figured I'd show you guys some pictures on my Instagram. So if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, I'm starting to post more and more just to help people become more and more motivated. If you guys don't know my story, I became a full-time trader in October of 2017 after being in the crypto market for several years. And I shortly thereafter launched my YouTube channel, in which that took off in regards to helping and training other people on how to really understand this market, because the cryptocurrency market's unlike any other market. You can't compare this to traditional markets. You can't compare this to commodities. You can't compare this to futures. I mean, understand the cryptocurrency market's its own beast. But anyways, you can see here, we had the chance to do some crazy things at this conference. It was quite expensive, I'll be honest, to go to this conference, but at the end of the day, it was well worth it to get around the people. This is Burj Al Dubai. This was on top of the tallest building in the world, Burj Khalifa. We had a chance to do a ton of excursions. We had a chance to, I had a chance to actually get an exotic car for a day and just enjoy that. So really interesting, really cool. And I highly recommend all of you get there next year. There's some other stuff we did, like a desert party. We also did this awesome yacht party at the last day. So highly recommend you guys check out the Futurama Blockchain Conference the next time they have a conference, and I'll definitely mention it if I am going. Actually, if you go on our Discord and you guys want to know what conference I'll be at next, just go under conferences here, and you can see all the conferences I plan to attend over the next several months. So I also have a lot of discount codes for these conferences. You can see 20% off, 15% off, 10% off, and things of that nature, so that could hopefully help out. Somebody says, what do you think of McAfee's predictions? I think that they are a bit extreme, and what I'll tell you, Dodge, if that's your name. That's what I think you're referring to Dogecoin with your username. But anyways, I think McAfee is a extremist, and I'll be honest, my mentor taught me, he's like, never listen to extremists, whether it's on one end of the spectrum or the other, because at the end of the day, you want to be logical and rational, right? You don't want to be an extremist. And if you guys are following me on Instagram, you know I was at a crypto mastermind last night. I'm trying my best to get around as many thought leaders in this sphere. And I'll be honest, this is kind of where I got my information about Tron, right? Like, they were talking about Tron. I looked into Tron more, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting excited because this is all making sense. It's all piecing itself together. And I never take information lightly. I always look at every information I can possibly find, and then I try to validate that information and then initiate my own opinion upon it. And I've been doing that since being in this crypto market, and it's obviously done very well for me. And I hope you all can also experience that. Andrew Soto says 500 likes and you change your last name to Tron. You know what? I will take that bet right now. If we hit 500 likes, I will legally change my name to Naeem Tron and then show you guys my documentation of name change. And now we're seeing the likes rise up. That's such a funny bet. That is hilarious. Imagine I come tomorrow and my name is Naeem Tron. The likes are like soaring through the roof. Everybody wants to see me change my name. That's a funny request. If you've got a better one, I might take it. But I'll take that one, right? We got 300 viewers. Hopefully we don't hit 500 likes. Somebody said, what would you sell Tron at? I would say, Andrew, take advantage of the swing highs and swing lows if you're the type of person that doesn't like to hold positions. But you can see it's almost looking like we're forming this obvious bullish flag here with this pennant on the weekly chart, and every time we've just went up parabolically, formed a flag, went up parabolically, formed a flag, went up parabolically, formed a flag, and I wouldn't be surprised to see us do that once again, knowing that we still got buyer volume and buyer sentiment in this market. Mainnet's due to launch. There's just tons of factors, like I talked about in this video about Tron, that is exciting. So ICO King says, forget about Tron, talk about real blockchains like EOS. I'll probably make a video saying why EOS will rise after mainnet launch tomorrow, because I also believe in EOS. Once again, you guys need to understand this new phenomenon, this market that's going to be arising over the next several months, because this is what's going to happen in the early adopter phase before we hit the early majority phase of this market. We need to see blockchain application platforms become prominent first before we see use cases within those blockchain application platforms, because it's almost like we don't have the basis of the internet already established if this was back in 2000, and we first need to establish the servers, the database, the speed, the scalability before launching use cases like, for example, YouTube, right? YouTube wasn't around in 2000 because it couldn't. The bandwidth wasn't fast enough. We were on AOL bandwidth, right? It was like, right? And it was less than a megabyte per second of internet. But over time, as scalability and speeds increased, we were able to use applications like YouTube. That's why when I look at projects, like for example, I'll look at a project and it says, we want to revolutionize the video game industry forever. It's like, okay, that's cool. It's a cool idea. It's cool to have that mindset, but understand that what happens when a blockchain comes out that's 10 times faster than all these blockchains, maybe 100 times faster, and you can't transfer your coding to that blockchain. You have to have a whole new project, and then your company goes out of business or something, right? So you have to understand that there are phases. There are different phases in every market, and you have to be aware of that and cognizant of what has, once again, the number one thing you look for in this market, intrinsic value, which is a lot of different factors. I like to break it down into 4 different parts. Number 1, the team. You have to understand the team. Number 2, what is their use case? Does it have the potential for use case? Number 3, does it have the potential for mass adoption? And then number 4, do you have a good gut feeling about that project? Nelson says 300 likes and you shave left half of beard for the next live stream. I'll do that. I'll take that one, Nelson. We'll do that. If we hit 300 likes on this live stream, we will shave half the beard. Man, it's literally becoming a culture here to bet for likes to the content creator. And I don't mind it. Whatever. Let's see here. Somebody says, roadmap to 2023, Electra, Masternode, and mobile wallet and staking. Interesting. Thomas 2052 says, are you familiar with the Cardano project? Any thoughts? I think Cardano is going to take a little bit more time for us to see true confidence with their development. I think that Cardano needs maybe another 6 months before we start to see any traction. I think EOS, Tron, and Ethereum are the three that are really taking initiative at this present time to become the primary blockchain application platforms for these ICOs to build upon. So Eric says EOS to delay mainnet launch. I haven't heard that yet. We'll see. Andrew Soda says great TA and great laughs makes a great community. I appreciate that. Thank you. Somebody said, guys who just joined the stream, note that he's going to change his legal last name to Tron. Hit the likes. That's funny. Somebody says better long hold, BNB or Tron. That's a hard one. You know, BNB, let's pull up BNB really quick. You guys know I'm super bullish on BNB, the Binance coin. And the reason I'm bullish about it is because understand Binance is probably going to become the largest exchange, if not already doing one of the largest, it almost has one of the largest presence in the majority of countries. And not only that, I think the Binance exchange is going to be around for a while, right? So knowing that it's going to be around for a while, I think that the CEO of the Binance exchange is not going to just let it go down the drain. I think they're going to make sure that it's developed out. It's constantly going forward. Understand they're going to have a mainnet launch soon for their own blockchain as well, just like EOS, just like Tron. If you're trying to get into a coin early, I would say BNB is the coin to get into because not a lot of people are aware that it's going to start developing these aspects of its project. And I think over time, this ascending support level is just going to continue to bring this price up. You can see we're seeing a beautiful moving average going up and up and up. And by the way, understand the BNB coin at the end of the day, you can also assume this is a large ascending triangle too. Look at that. You've almost got this large ascending triangle forming here. That is a powerful ascending triangle. And the reason I say that is this is on a daily chart. Look at that. That is beautiful. My gosh. Breakout pattern to the max. If you go to trading patterns, you don't know how an ascending triangle looks. You've pretty much got even resistance levels with an ascending support level. And in traditional markets, it will take months and months and months for these ascending triangles to form. In crypto markets, you see them form within weeks, if not days. But to see one like this on a daily chart is just very confident, in my opinion, in regards to BNB. And I'm very bullish on this coin. You can see we've already swung down to this low, and I'm most likely going to complete this high soon. So understand the full market right now is turning bullish. It's like in between bullish and bearish right now, turning more bullish than ever. If we pull up BTC USD, you can see we've recently, if we pull up the 4-hour, we've got this pennant formation here with the MACD. And then if we were to do a Bitcoin analysis, you can see we've got this overall pennant formation. And the coolest thing about it is you can see this moving average. At first, it was extremely parabolic, and then it became extremely bearish. But now we're starting to see this moving average find some support along these higher price ranges. So just like I talked about in yesterday's video, I did a pretty extensive analysis on Bitcoin. I'm still expecting Bitcoin to finally see a reversal sometime soon as this RSI right here can really become oversold, allowing more institutional whales to put in majority of their holdings into this market. Because understand, the people that have large amounts of capital are only going to want to put in positions when these RSI levels are oversold, knowing that they can get the best possible price for their investment. So I'm expecting a reversal soon, knowing the RSI is down. So that's the overall market sentiment, in my opinion. So hopefully that's helping out. Donnie says, I sold all of my coins and put it on Tron. Was that a bad idea? I figured I can sell Tron and go back and get my other coins back like VEN. I mean, I would never go all in on a coin. I think diversification is probably the best way to manage your risk in this market. And that's not something that I made up. That's something that I learned from Ray Dalio, one of the best traders in the world, at least in the early days. And then he eventually went to algorithmic trading, which is the majority of the markets right now. And he started one of the largest hedge funds today, which is Bridgewater Associates, and they manage over 175 billion in assets. And with that being said, we're going to wrap up this stream very soon, but we're all going to be on Discord once again. Hopefully you guys are not being stubborn and saying, I've never used this platform before, I don't want to get on Discord. Just try it. Trust me, it's going to be the biggest asset you've ever had in this cryptocurrency market. But thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully, I was able to shed some light on my beliefs about Tron and what I'm seeing here form within its fundamental and technical analysis. So thank you so much, guys. And yes, Mark D says, diversification is only if you don't know what you're doing. Well, I wouldn't say that, Mark. Absolutely not. I would not agree with that. Just, I agree to disagree. I don't think that it's ever smart to just go all in on any trades, because you have high risk in that manner. I mean, if you're using your swing trading portfolio, I mean, there are certain cases where you can do that, but when you have long-term holds, you know, at the end of the day, you can't just put everything into one coin, because it's like in the .com bubble in 2000 when you had Google, Apple, Facebook, and all of these other companies. What if you just put all of your money into one of these companies and then they went downhill, versus spreading it across all these companies? And you know, that's nothing to argue about. I mean, you look at the best investors in the world. If you look at the Forbes 500, the majority of people on the Forbes rich list are investors, and the biggest investors like Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, right? These guys are known to diversify and hold long term. You know, that's always been the strategy for them, at least. So Will says, Naeem, you're just going because you don't want to change your name. Yeah, I kind of don't want to change my name if we hit 300 likes, right? What are we at right now? Almost 300, right? All right, y'all. Well, if you guys want to catch up with me, I'll see you all on Instagram or on Discord. Thank you all for tuning in, and I appreciate all of you guys coming in every single day for our daily live streams. I'm so fortunate and blessed to bring this value to you guys and have this opportunity. So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And with that being said, Andrew Soto says, love you, bro. Love you too, man. Take care, guys. Snipers out.